Tonight, failure of justice.
What price do you put on a man's life?
We'll find out why an innocent man was finally exonerated after he spent nearly 17 years in prison.
We're all just out there trying to do what we can.
New Orleans prepares for a tropical storm, even as its Mississippi River is already running high. A huge test for the city's post-Katrina defenses.
I'm not the only person in the world that can do this. Everyone can do this.
And some young Nova Scotians who wowed a dragon now pay it forward. How their success is inspiring other teams. This is The National. We begin tonight with a miscarriage of Canadian justice, a wrongful murder conviction followed by a long imprisonment. Then, after almost 2 decades, exoneration. And finally, tonight, some explanation of what went wrong. Not just for the man wrongly convicted, but for the victim's loved ones as well. Glenn Assoon spent almost 17 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. The person who killed his former girlfriend, Brenda Way, has escaped justice since her death in 1995. Kayla Hounsell has the details that only came to light after CBC News went to court.
Glenn Assoon was already a free man, but now the full extent of his miscarriage of justice is public information.
I knew someday I'd prove my innocence. I just didn't know when.
Assoon was wrongfully convicted nearly 20 years ago for the murder of his former girlfriend, Brenda Way. Earlier this year, his conviction was overturned by the federal justice minister. The reasons for that decision were held in sealed documents within these boxes until CBC News, the Canadian Press, and the Halifax Examiner fought to have them released. The documents point to this man, serial killer Michael Wayne McGray, as another suspect.
They didn't properly investigate. The people of Nova Scotia and the people of Canada deserve a justice system that they can have some faith in.
The information about another possible suspect wasn't disclosed to Assoon's lawyers. An RCMP officer says he brought the information to his superiors and was told he was wasting his time. He told CBC News he was later transferred out of his unit. His digital files deleted. The hard copies have disappeared.
That would be one prominent feature of this case that would point to shocking malfeasance.
But today, the RCMP says there was no malicious intent.
If anything has been done, it has not been intentional or it was a mistake. But there has been no intention for the RCMP in any way to try and do a cover-up.
Lost in the discussion about justice for Assoon is the lack of justice for Brenda Way's family.
I'm 30 years old now. I haven't seen my mother since I was 7. And it breaks my heart that I never got to know her.
As for Assoon, he says he suffered multiple heart attacks in prison and now has mental health issues. His lawyers say he should be compensated.
What price do you put on a man's life? Because in my opinion, there's not enough money to compensate for the injustice that I suffered.
Assoon says his goal is to try to enjoy what's left of his life. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
There's no word yet on any possible settlement for Assoon, but let's take a look at compensation some people have received in other cases of wrongful imprisonment. David Milgaard got $10 million in 2000 for the 23 years he served. Stephen Truscott received $6.5 million in 2008 for his 10 years behind bars. And then there's the case of Romeo Filion, who served 31 years in prison and lost a $14 million lawsuit against Ottawa police. That decision later overturned, but Filion died in 2015 without receiving anything. Now to a developing story playing out in southern Louisiana tonight. Be prepared, shelter in place, and heed every warning. That is the message as a potentially life-threatening storm nears land. Tropical storm Barry is a monster. It's been churning for days, picking up steam, rolling slowly toward the central Gulf Coast. It's expected to make landfall Saturday morning, and when it does, forecasters expect it will have strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane.
This is going to impact just a huge swath of our state, and we are taking it extremely seriously.
For people in New Orleans, Barry couldn't come at a worse time. Jacqueline Hansen is on the ground with the latest.
With time running out, it was all hands on deck.
We're all just out there trying to do what we can. Local business owner, we've got local homeowners around here that are preparing for the worst.
People rushed to fill sandbags, trash bags, whatever they could find, because Barry packs a punch.
We are looking at 10 to 20 inches of rain, with some areas possibly receiving 25 inches, depending upon the storm track.
That's bad news for a city that's already seen flash flooding this week. The ground is saturated and there's nowhere for the water to drain. The Mississippi River is already running high, almost 5 meters yesterday morning. Barry will push it even higher to nearly 6 meters, just below the levees that protect the city.
We are staying tight in communications and coordination with our local, state, and federal partners.
Still, Barry could be the biggest test since Katrina, a Category 5 storm that broke the levees and devastated 80% of the city. It was deemed the costliest disaster in U.S. history. Hundreds of people died. Since then, the levees have been updated and there are more flood protections in place, but the memories of 2005 weigh heavy on those who lived through it.
I think after the Katrina situation, we had Gustav, and they did a much better job at getting people up and getting people out and securing the city, and I think that was a lesson learned. I'm concerned, however, that they've gotten complacent.
Officials have been working all day to close the floodgates along the river. The president has already approved a state of emergency, and about 3,000 National Guard troops, along with emergency responders, are ready to move in. Now, all that's left to do is wait.
And Jacqueline, you arrived there just a few hours ago. What's it like tonight?
Well, Ian, it's been raining on and off, but it is pretty calm right now. And we wanted to show you the Mississippi River and those water levels that we've been talking about, but it's behind these flood walls that stretch along the river. And now that all of these floodgates are closed, we can't get to the other side. But it's those walls that are protecting this area and all of the people here. And we are still seeing people walking and driving on the streets, even though officials have urged everyone to stock up on everything they need and then go home and shelter in place so that they're ready for whatever tonight brings. Ian?
All right, Jacqueline, thank you. And let's bring in our CBC meteorologist, Brett Soderholm. And Brett, you've been tracking this storm all day. Tell us what is likely next.
Well, over the next 12 hours, we're expecting the formal landfall of either tropical storm or Hurricane Barry. The wind speeds are what determine whether or not it will be making landfall as either one of those. But beside that, the winds really are not the primary concern. In fact, it is just going to be the rain. And we are looking at impressive rainfall totals here. We're looking at anywhere between 50 and 100 millimeters of rain an hour, falling over much of the state and also the neighboring state of Mississippi, which could potentially be bringing upwards of 600 millimeters of rain over the next 48 hours throughout the Mississippi River Valley.
And let's talk a little bit more about what it is that makes Barry so dangerous.
Yeah, primarily Barry is a very slow-moving system. So what that means is when it stays in place over one area for an extended period of time, it has the potential to bring a prolonged rain event. And when I was talking about rainfall totals up to about 600 millimeters in total, this could be exceeded if it stays in place for a little bit longer. The main compounding factor here is that as Barry travels farther north, it's going to mirror the path taken by the Mississippi River. All of that rain is going to inevitably drain into the Mississippi River, and that is going to be cresting potentially over 20 feet by the time it reaches back down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, Brett, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With summer at its peak, punishing heat is a threat across the northern hemisphere. In parts of the central U.S. and California, and even Alaska has just gone through its worst heat wave in decades, with Anchorage breaking a 50-year-old temperature record last week.
We've been sleeping on the floor with wet towels over our bodies.
The tinder dry Arctic forest is being ravaged by wildfires. And overseas, Spain is still searing days after a heat wave blasted most of Europe. At least 8 deaths were linked to that European heat wave, a reminder that beating the heat can mean saving lives. But research on the best method is pretty thin. Alison Northcott shows us one study. Its approach to cracking the code of staying cool: get people in a room and crank up the heat.
So right to the end on the seat.
Yeah, boy.
74-year-old Michelle Dupuis is in the hot seat, a room designed to simulate a dangerous heat wave.
Before we get a blood pressure, we wipe the arm to make sure that all the sweat's gone.
Researchers are studying some of the people most vulnerable in the heat, older adults with underlying health conditions.
So we're really trying to find simple solutions that anybody could use at home just to stay cool if they don't have access to air conditioning, to minimize the impact of heat waves on individuals' health.
Today, your trial is going to be 38 degrees Celsius, 60% relative humidity.
Before heading in, Dupuis was fitted with electrodes and capsules. With his heart and lung conditions, real heat waves are tough to handle.
I feel that it's hard. I don't have as much as energy as I would have.
We'll continue to ask you, how hot do you feel? How comfortable do you feel? We'll take your blood pressure.
We always hear kind of typical guidelines during heat waves. Obviously they make sense and they're intuitive, but surprisingly not a whole lot of them are backed up by scientific data. So we're really trying to bring the science behind what's being recommended.
For instance, by testing the use of fans, wet sponges, or a combination of both.
Relax and enjoy.
Relax and enjoy. Your margaritas are on the way.
Dupuis' skin temperature, sweat rate, and heart rate are closely monitored and recorded.
Anecdotally, people always tell us that the skin wetting feels amazing, and they always feel more comfortable and a lot more cool when they are using the skin wetting and then the skin wetting with the fan. But from a cardiovascular and a thermal point of view, it's really hard to conclude any findings yet.
During Montreal's heat wave last summer, public health officials say 66 people died from the heat. Many of them were over the age of 65. The hope is that public health agencies could use the eventual findings of this study to minimize the risk during future heat waves. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
U.S. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta resigned today, the latest high-profile departure from Donald Trump's government. As with much of the upheaval in the Trump administration, Acosta is leaving under a cloud. Scrutiny for his unusual treatment of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Stephen D'Souza gives us the scene today of a seemingly reluctant U.S. president bidding another cabinet secretary goodbye.
2 days after facing the press to defend himself, Secretary of Labor Alexander Acosta was in front of the cameras again, this time to resign.
I called the president this morning. I told him that I thought the right thing was to step aside.
Acosta has been under intense scrutiny over the non-prosecution deal his office negotiated with Jeffrey Epstein in 2008. Critics say 13 months jail time was not enough for the sex offender. Acosta defended that deal Wednesday, but tried to deflect today.
It would be selfish for me to stay in this position and continue talking about a case that's 12 years old rather than about the amazing economy we have right now.
Even as Acosta resigned, the president continued to offer support.
This was him, not me, because I'm with him. He's a tremendous talent.
Reports, though, suggest Trump may be happy to see Acosta go, hoping to avoid further questions about his own connection to Epstein.
I haven't spoken to him in probably 15 years or more. I wasn't a big fan of Jeffrey Epstein, that I can tell you.
It's good news, but it's too little too late.
Lawyer Lisa Bloom represents some of Epstein's accusers.
It does give some accountability, and my clients are both very triggered and very upset every day as they see Epstein in the news.
Acosta didn't mention Epstein's victims today and again offered no apologies.
How he could have let Mr. Epstein get such a sweetheart deal, how Acosta could have failed to notify the victims of what he was doing, I think are still questions that need to be answered.
Acosta is out of cabinet, but not out of the woods. His actions 11 years ago are still under investigation by the Justice Department. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Washington.
Alexander Acosta is now the 9th Trump official to leave a cabinet-level position. That's the highest number of presidential cabinet departures in a single term since Ronald Reagan took office in 1981. And Trump still has a year and a half left to go. Acosta's replacement joins the growing list of acting officials in Trump's government who are fulfilling their roles without the constitutionally required Senate confirmation. Trump says this is a good thing.
An acting defense secretary, an acting chief of staff, an acting interior secretary.
It's easier to make moves when they're acting. I like acting because I can move so quickly. Gives me more flexibility.
To name a few, Trump has an acting budget chief, an acting UN ambassador, and a host of acting immigration and border officials. He's had an acting Department of Homeland Security secretary since April and 2 acting defense secretaries over the past 7 months, the longest stretch in the history of the Pentagon. Here are some of the other stories we're following tonight on The National. Robert Mueller is now set to testify a week later than expected. The former special counsel will go before 2 U.S. House committees on July 24th at 8:30 a.m., then again at noon. He's set to answer questions about his Russia investigation. The committee chairs say by moving the date, Mueller has agreed to appear for an extended period of time. Canadian singer Jacob Hogarth will stand trial on sex assault charges. After a 2-day hearing in Toronto, a judge decided the case should go ahead. Hogarth is facing 3 charges related to 2 separate incidents involving a woman and an underage girl. The singer's lawyer says he intends to plead not guilty. A trial date has not been set.
Yesterday evening, Mr. Kelly was walking his dogs.
Another singer facing sexual abuse charges. R. Kelly is behind bars tonight after a brief court appearance. The 52-year-old was arrested in Chicago again last night and faces 18 new charges. They include sexual exploitation of a child, kidnapping, and child pornography. He'll remain in custody until at least Tuesday. Up next on The National, we'll take you inside the so-called ghetto film school, where high school students are learning from some of Hollywood's biggest names. Plus,
Police has changed my life, oh my God, in many ways.
how these students from Halifax are helping kids in Toronto grow a business from scratch. But first, there are reports tonight Somali-Canadian journalist Hodan Nalea is among the dead after gunmen stormed a hotel in Somalia.
The Western media tends to always focus on the suffering of that nation and the problems and the bombings, but people are still living.
That was Nalea on CBC Radio in 2017. Her death is exactly the kind of tragedy she felt overshadowed another reality in Somalia. Raised in Vaughan, Ontario, she returned there to bring viewers of her popular weekly program, Inspirational Stories of a Changing Country. She'll be deeply missed by friends, fans, and colleagues around the world.
everything you see exists together in a delicate balance.
The latest version of The Lion King had its world premiere in Hollywood this week, boasting a notably diverse cast. It has something in common with other movies that have starred black actors and even told stories about the black community. They were all directed by white men. A recent study from UCLA documented how women and people of color are still minor players behind the cameras in Hollywood. But some big industry players are stepping up, investing their own money and time to help a new generation get experience. As Alekunathu shows us, that next wave is starting awfully young.
Who are you? I'm Molly. I'm a new writer.
In the comedy Late Night, Mindy Kaling draws on her own experience playing a diversity hire in the writer's room of a TV show.
You want to sit down? Okay.
That's where Mendelssohn sits.
Could you sit down, please? Oh, I'll just use this trash can. Especially when it comes to...
Vancouver-born Nisha Ganatra directed Late Night. The comedy set a record when it was acquired by Amazon for $13 million US.
I was actually the diversity hire on the Mindy project. So
that's how Ganatra met Kaling. Directing an episode of the Star's TV show in 2015. It's also why she says hiring one person to check a box doesn't equal representation.
almost always I'm the only Indian American on the set, but some of the time I'm the only woman in the room too.
Hollywood has been grappling with criticism over a lack of inclusion for years, and changes are coming too slowly for some in the business, so they're taking matters into their own hands.
I'm not leaving. The cult is my family. They're all I have.
Ghetto Film School is based in LA and New York. It gives high school students from diverse communities, like Jordan Pita, a chance to learn the business from the inside.
They operate in the Bronx. The Bronx is not the most affluent neighborhood, and they strive to choose people who they know don't have these kinds of opportunities.
The high priestesses and I aren't impressed with how tonight is going.
Actress Alfre Woodard is reading from a script Pita will soon direct.
The students lead the process every step of the way.
Teens get funding to shoot a movie abroad with help from Hollywood pros like David O. Russell, who directed the Oscar-nominated Silver Linings Playbook.
It just makes all of us remember why we're telling stories. And I think it's exciting for them.
Do you want to travel places?
The program is one of several being supported by filmmakers themselves, who aren't waiting for big studios to take the lead.
I changed the rules of my entire company, where 50% of all directorial slots from now on will be women and people of color.
Emmy Award-winning Ryan Murphy created shows like Glee and American Horror Story. He's since started a mentorship program for TV directing. Canadian photographer and budding filmmaker Justin Wu spent about a month learning what it takes to run one of Murphy's shows.
Once I was able to kind of say that I had this experience on 911, it really did pique the interest of a lot of the production houses in Toronto. And so it directly opened up the doors for me.
Doors he intends to hold open for others, he says, particularly to push for changes in writers' rooms.
How would you describe Molly?
She said I was the vibrant splash of color on the gray canvas of our writing staff.
So the concept of diversity hires can be less of a punchline and more of a norm. Zuleika Nathu, CBC News, Los Angeles.
When we come back, simulating life on the red planet.
My worst moment was probably being stuck in the airlock with a lot of poo.
They lived in complete isolation, as if they were millions of kilometers away. We'll take you inside their make-believe mission next. hero's welcome for Canadian astronaut David Saint-Jacques earlier this week at Canadian Space Agency headquarters. A little over 2 weeks after returning from his record-setting space mission, Saint-Jacques seemed fit, well-rested, and eager to share the glory.
I've been to space because of the support of people on the ground. So this was your mission. Spaceflight is this amazing example of what we can accomplish when we actually put aside our differences and work together.
It is that simple belief in grand dreams and collective effort that made space travel possible in the first place, going all the way back to John F. Kennedy's pledge to put a man on the moon. And now, as the 50th anniversary of that historic mission draws near, the dream is grander, the effort more ambitious. Tonight, we revisit Paul Hunter's look at the drive to put human beings on the red planet.
The landscape itself is, without a doubt, otherworldly. Barren, rocky. Mars, at least for now, remains a place untouched by humans. But, just so you know, this isn't Mars. Those tiny yellow specks on the hilltop, those are humans. And this is Hawaii, on the shoulder of an active volcano. Those humans are volunteers who've departed Earth, sort of.
What I miss most about my life back on Earth is my fiance. I miss all of those little moments during the day that you have together.
So we're here at a mock Mars simulation. I think I can speak for everybody that we all would go to Mars. You know, we're living the astronaut life here.
6 people who last year agreed to live together like this for 8 months as if they were actually in a habitat on faraway Mars. And as it would be if they were on Mars, all of the video was taken by those at the habitat for CBC News.
Bye, CBC. I love you.
All communications, our interviews, even emails are on a lengthy time delay.
So the whole thing is an exercise in kind of patience and humility and doing your best to find out what parts of you need to pull out and amplify and what parts you need to pull back a little bit so that you can be the best crew member, teammate for the rest of your crew members.
The experiment is funded by NASA as it considers an actual mission to the planet, one of near countless projects underway with that goal. So, they grow their own food, just like in the movies, and they conduct science experiments, just like they would on Mars. But the key aspect is testing interactions and behaviors under stress, because in theory, they're millions of kilometers from anyone else. Supplies are sent in periodically, but otherwise they're on their own.
Oh, that's so horrible.
No matter the challenges, big or small.
My worst moment was probably being stuck in the airlock with a lot of poo.
And forget about feeling the sun or a cool breeze. Every time they go outside, they have to suit up for real. It's hard slogging. But one conclusion they've all reached is that getting to Mars is 100% achievable.
It's definitely not a pipe dream. It sounds like a lot, but I think we'll get there eventually in a very little bit of time. The pieces are out on the table. It's putting that puzzle together. That will happen relatively soon, I believe.
I think that technically we can absolutely go in my lifetime. I think that we could start working now if we needed to. Like, it's a matter of how much risk are you willing to accept for the people who go.
And this is where it's like sitting outside just looking at the rocks and being like, you know what, it really does feel like Mars.
Martha Lenio, now back at her home in Waterloo, Ontario, lived in that habitat on an earlier 8-month mission.
How did you not go stir crazy?
Having very good crewmates.
She emphasizes that as engineers work on the technical challenges of getting to Mars, it's equally important to sort out the psychological ones.
The goal is to figure out how you pick a crew and support a crew for these long duration isolated space missions so that they won't people won't go crazy and kill each other, because you're going to be confined in a small space with 5 other people for up to 3 years. So that does take a fair bit of social ability.
And so they're studying you, basically?
Yeah, we're the guinea pigs in a psychology experiment.
Viking Lander 1 has safely landed on the surface.
It's not like there isn't already stuff on Mars. NASA's Viking Explorer got there in the 1970s and sent back these images. Other robotic missions have followed. These images, each of them stunning, were taken not long ago by NASA's latest Mars rover, the Curiosity. But getting people to Mars and then home safely to Earth is a whole other matter. So, thousands of kilometers from that habitat in Hawaii, at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, NASA engineers whose job it is to think the unthinkable and who are busy on all kinds of things these days include Mars on their interplanetary to-do list.
We're an electric spacecraft, right? So we have solar arrays on the service module.
That's a mock-up of a space capsule called Orion. Najud Maransi leads its development and gave us a peek inside. It's about the size of 2 minivans, and when it's finished, is meant to get astronauts out beyond Earth's orbit for the first time since the days of Apollo, taking the first step toward Mars. But that's the easy part. Challenges in deep space loom. Radiation, illnesses, fuel, just one chance at a safe landing, and then the rest of it.
You're going to need a big habitat. We're going to need big solar cells, systems, power, food, water, all those things. And then you're going to need a rocket to get them back off the surface of Mars. So all of that has to be there even before the crew arrives, because you can't have it show up later.
And remember that time delay communicating with Earth?
So that means if I told you there's an emergency on the spaceship, the ground team would not know that it's happening until 12 minutes later. And if they had an instruction to send back, it'd be another 12 minutes to get back. If there's a fire, if there's a leak, all of those things have to be dealt with by the crew independently, which is certainly a challenge we haven't faced in any human space flight so far. And there's been a lot of challenges, but the ground's able to assist.
It sounds daunting.
It is.
But NASA's gigantic complex in Houston is littered with evidence it's managed daunting challenges before. That's a Saturn V at an on-site museum, the kind of rocket they once used for that other dream, getting to the moon. Meanwhile, just down the street a ways, more evidence NASA's now looking much further afield. We're told to please keep our voices quiet.
And that's what's going on behind us right now. These are the people in there, right?
Yes, that's correct. We have surveillance cameras inside the habitat.
Another habitat with more volunteers inside, this time as if in a spaceship flying toward an asteroid, the kind of trip that might one day target Mars. We had a tour of the simulated mission control with NASA's Andy Self.
The thing about this is, unlike a normal mission control, here, they are actually right there.
Yes.
Like, that's how close we are. That's them, right?
We're about 30 feet away. Yeah.
Wow.
For this test, the volunteers are inside with no windows, just cameras and each other, ostensibly en route and isolated for 45 days.
Can we get a status?
NASA experts watch how they get along. Unlike the habitat in Hawaii, for those simply flying through space, there's much less to occupy the time. So they're studying to see how pure monotony might affect their thinking and actions.
It's basically looking at human nature, seeing how it may unfold, and then countermeasuring it to ensure that it doesn't pose a risk to the mission.
And then there's the biggest challenge of all, money. On that, NASA's been busy with traveling exhibits, promoting even the idea of spending the billions of dollars such a trip would cost. Check this theoretical Mars vehicle, a crowd pleaser aimed at winning the hearts and minds of, taxpayers and their kids.
You guys could be the first ones on Mars. How cool is that?
Public support is crucial. Meanwhile, private companies now play a key role as well. SpaceX, owned by billionaire Elon Musk, famously is now a mega player in the push toward Mars, and Musk himself a mega promoter.
What I really want to try to achieve here is to make Mars seem possible, make it seem as though it's something that we can do in our lifetimes, and that you can go.
In other words, he says, dream big. Working alongside NASA, SpaceX hopes to get to Mars by the middle of the next decade.
This is just seated.
So, what to make of all of this? Who better to ask than someone who theoretically could go? Canada's David Saint-Jacques. Prepping for his imminent trip to the space station, he thinks about this stuff a lot and bottom lines it this way.
Yes, it's risky. It will always be. Spaceflight is maybe the most dangerous thing humans have ever done. But we have learned a lot in the process, and that makes it worth it. So eventually we will go to Mars when that risk balance kind of makes sense.
This is NASA. We make it possible, right? And I'm an engineer, and that's my job, is to solve problems. So I think these are all things we can do. It's not easy, and we need a lot of people working on it to make it happen, but I certainly think it's possible. These are within the realm of human capability, in my opinion.
Meanwhile, they keep at it, finessing Orion, getting it shipshape, balancing those risks while considering all the other challenges. Will there be the money for it? Says Saint-Jacques, there are many important earthly priorities, but...
The priority, of course, should never be space exploration. There's other things that are more important right now. But we should always keep a little sliver of the pie for blue sky research, for the arts, for exploration, because that is how we progress. So eventually it will become reasonable and natural to take a deep breath and dive and make the trip.
And so, as that Hawaiian experiment continues, now with a new crew out exploring make-believe Mars, they take those deep breaths and they dream. After all, what a trip it would be. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Earth.
Nice sign off. All next week, the National salutes the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission. Starting Monday with David Common's look at how the Canadian Space Agency is partnering with NASA for a bold new endeavor called Project Gateway.
What is this Gateway?
So Gateway is going to be an orbiting platform near the moon. So basically it's going to be a small space station. It's probably going to be about the fifth of the size of the International Space Station. Now that we move out into deep space and we do the Gateway, we'll be able to prove, so how can we go further than this? How can we go eventually to Mars?
In our special series, we'll explore how the Apollo 11 landing continues to inspire Canadians to shoot for the stars 50 years later, and how that mission changed technology and life on Earth forever. That's all next week on The National. But first, as we go to break, in case you missed it, theories of a cover-up have long swirled around the Nevada Air Force Base known as Area 51. And now a Facebook campaign hopes to force the truth into the light. It's called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. 500,000 people have signed up, like Shane Osco.
It's a big universe. There's got to be something out there.
Now, this may just be enthusiasm from people who consider Independence Day and the X-Files to be documentaries. But the plan is this. If the U.S. government does not voluntarily reveal the aliens housed in Area 51 by September 20th, well, they'll charge the base, doing the Naruto run, which refers to a Japanese anime character who runs with his head down, arms stretched behind him, not unlike that one kid you might remember, or maybe you were, in elementary school. Now, to be fair, Storm Area 51 is almost certainly a tongue-in-cheek campaign, because how could running headlong into the U.S. military possibly go wrong?
I got my headband for protection.
Okay then, another clue? It was created by a user notorious for posting jokes and memes. Then again, 500,000 is a lot of people. Guess we'll find out how this turns out in September.
Jack, what is that thing? How the hell should I know?
Exactly.
And when it got really breezy, I closed the door. And as soon as I closed the door, all hell broke loose.
Residents of a campground north of Montreal recounting their experience after a tornado tore through last night. Environment Canada confirming it was an EF1 with winds up to 175 kilometers an hour. They were strong enough to flip a trailer twice. The man inside suffered broken bones. Severe weather hit much of the province last night. At one point, more than 100,000 customers lost power.
The fire just jumped to this tree line.
After being forced from their homes, residents on the island of Maui were allowed to return today, but officials say the fire threat remains active. Close to 2,000 people moved to emergency shelters yesterday when the fire closed in on 2 Hawaiian communities. Evacuation orders have now been lifted, but local residents are being asked to conserve power. A transmission line was damaged by the fire.
and the care and safety of the animals that participate in our events is our highest priority.
In an unprecedented move, Calgary Stampede organizers have banned a chuck wagon driver for life after a collision last night resulted in the death of a third horse at this year's event. Today, Stampede officials say the crash was preventable and hope the suspension, along with a $10,000 fine, will have an effect on drivers.
We believe that this message will now get through, hopefully, to the drivers that safety is absolutely paramount as we move forward.
The suspended driver will be permitted to apply for reinstatement as early as September 1st. The incident renewing some calls for the races to be banned outright following dozens of horse deaths over the years. Rescue teams have partially freed one of the right whales tangled in fishing gear in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The 5-year-old animal was found yesterday morning. Teams were able to free its tail but started losing daylight and had to head back. 2 other whales also caught in fishing gear. The second has been spotted a number of times, but they haven't found the third. Some young people in Halifax have made a better life for themselves. They started a nonprofit business that has become an undeniable success. Now they're paying it forward by getting some Toronto kids involved. Here's Colleen Jones to show us why their brand, Hope Blooms, is more than just a name.
An early morning flight from Halifax for these Hope Bloom kids. They're off to Toronto to spread what they've learned about building a social enterprise.
We're here today to ask for $10,000 in exchange for 5% royalties until the $10,000.
A little backstory. When these teens were just kids back in 2013, they pitched the Dragons on their homemade salad dressings. It's community-driven, it's kids-driven, and the payback for them is they get their university paid for when they're ready to go. The Dragons bought in.
And the money will come.
The little business has grown from farmers market sales to now this. Historic Maple Leaf Gardens, the site of Loblaw's flagship store. They're launching Hope Bloom's products here. Dragon star Arlene Dickinson shed a few tears on what this has blossomed into.
But they've been able to now pay it forward and be able to help a community in Toronto.
This idea of planting seeds so that you can not just, as we said, grow food, but that you can actually change people's lives.
Selfie time with Arlene, then time to hit the stage.
Really exciting.
As the Hope Bloom kids talk about what they've built, listening intently, this group from Scatting Court in Toronto. They've been chosen by Hope Blooms as the group they'll mentor.
A lot of times, teenagers of our age, we can't get out in the world of entrepreneurship and all those because we lack opportunity. I think Hope Blooms brings us an opportunity to produce our best selves out there.
Even the mayor of Toronto, John Tory, thought this is a unique marriage.
In Toronto, we have a number of neighborhoods, as is the case in every city in Canada, where people struggle a bit more. They're lower income people. Some of them have had a real struggle in their lives. And again, those are the kids that often need that little bit of extra support and encouragement. This will be a big part of it.
That was the genesis of Hope Blooms when it started in Halifax's North End. It's a neighborhood where public housing meets new condos full of hip shops. It's known troubles in the past, but doesn't want to be defined by that.
Hope Blooms has changed my life, oh my God, in many ways.
Kaladi Baboye is now a second-year St. Yves student with his university paid for by Hope Blooms.
I'm conquering my goals. I'm taking my goals, my achievements, and then taking them back to my community and to people younger than me and mentoring them and showing them you can do it too. Not the only person in the world that can do this. Everyone can do this.
So these two groups from different cities but with similar stories met in their community garden in Toronto to start planting the seed on how to change their future by working now in the present. Herman Ellis works at Scatting Court.
A lot of us cried, and we've been in this business for a really long time because it's everything that we've all strived for in our careers, is to have young people take ownership of their communities, take ownership of their lives, and to give back.
Hope Blooms will donate $1 from every sale in Toronto to whatever business plan they come up with, and they'll watch how this seed grows. Colleen Jones, CBC News, Toronto.
When we come back, in case you're wondering what breakfast and jellyfish have in common,
it looked like a fried egg. I mean, the middle was very yellow and the outside was very yolky colored.
still not something you'd want with toast. The story behind this massive jelly is next.
When you grow up in a small town in Newfoundland, you see the people have a sense of humor about hard times.
Foo-foo. Yeah, foo-foo.
I was like, who's foo-foo? Then he wrapped my underwear over my forehead. I turned that into a career and hit the road.
He was off the fluorochloride scale.
Ladies, look out.
Have to start somewhere.
Now I'm on a mission to find the funny in the places you'd least expect it. Canada's struggling small towns. Thanks so much.
Still standing. Tuesdays at 8:30 on CBC.
Despite the resemblance, this is a jellyfish and not a gigantic fried egg. This species more common than you might think, though this one is notable. Notable because of its size. Some jellyfish can span 60 centimeters in diameter. This one, though, much larger. The kayaker who found it, and of course the jellyfish itself, is our moment.
We were just paddling up the inlet towards an island there, and as we came back, we saw quite a few blooms of moon jellies. In amongst it, there was this giant fried egg, and he was a good over 2 feet wide for sure. And he was in really, really good condition. And yes, we stopped, take a picture, and hung out with it for a little while.
The common name is a fried egg jellyfish, for obvious reasons, because it looks just like a fried egg jelly. This one is the biggest one I've ever seen locally.
Oh, we get lots of jellyfish in the inlet, so it's not that unusual, but the size of it was unusual.
Cute but not benign. The size of it is because apparently it's eaten a lot of jellyfish. That's why it gets that big, gets smaller in the winter, and they are apparently fairly common all the way from Chile right up the Pacific coast to Alaska. So for those of you across the country looking for one more reason to kayak the beautiful waters off British Columbia, there's one for you. That is The National. Have a great weekend.